Buddy, I'm here to talk to you today about Will Grier. He's an NFL draft prospect. He's a quarterback from West Virginia. He's right now projected to go in between the second and fifth round in the NFL draft. But I'm going to explain to you today why I think he might be the best quarterback project in this draft. And we're going to start off with the goods. He's a leader. All of his teammates have pretty much said he's a good leader. He's organized. He has everything you want at that spot of quarterback. He seems like he knows what he's doing in the huddle, and he's calm. He's not a nervous, frantic mess at times. A downside, though, he doesn't drive the ball like you want him to. And it's a pretty big downside. But he can eventually develop the ability to drive the ball properly. The issue why he doesn't drive the ball is because he's not fluid in the hips. He relies too much on his arm. If he were to line up his hips and it's a fluid motion, he can sling the ball probably better than most people in the NFL. He's probably can sling the ball better than Tom Brady can currently if you were to line up his hips. I'm not saying young Tom Brady. Tom Brady's decreased with age. I'm saying Grier could do it with the older Tom Brady. But this is why I'm comparing him to Tom Brady, because I want him to go to the Patriots, because I feel like that's the best organization for him. He needs to learn how to square his hips up. That's the best organization for that. He's had a PED issue. That's an organization that can grow their players up, and if they're not ready, they're not going to push them. Bill Belichick knows what he's doing with his players. He knows how to squeeze the most out of his players. And the Patriots have the 32nd overall pick. I can see them drafting him in the first round for that fifth-year option. Because let's face it, Father Time will eventually catch up with Tom Brady. That's not something I think will happen soon in the next 2 years. I expect a year 3 downfall. That's when you need your young quarterback to step up, and you would at least want him in your system. I'd like to see Will Grier develop these things with any organization because I'm a big fan of him. He was so fun to watch at West Virginia. And another downside of his, and it's not really as big a downside as it used to be, he's from a spread offense. The spread is making its way in the NFL. I can see teams using that for whoever drafts him to make sure he's comfortable for his first couple games as an NFL quarterback. And another positive, he wants to win. When you see the game on the line, he is going for it. He will throw it. He will stand in the pocket to make the tough throws. He is not afraid of the hits. I've watched so many games, and West Virginia is one of my favorite teams to watch, just from watching Will Grier. He takes the hits. He absorbs them. He wants to make the plays. And that's what you want an NFL quarterback. You want him to sit in the pocket. You want him to take the hits. And he's a big enough body that he can absorb them. Overall, I think Will Grier should be a thought in NFL teams' minds. Would I take him in the first round? Not if we're ruling out the fifth-year option, I don't take him in the first round. I look at him as a day 2 guy. I target for him second and third round. But if you want that fifth-year option, I fully endorse you getting him in round 1. If it's a trade-up with a team, that's okay. Or if it's just the Patriots taking him to be the successor to Brady, I fully get that. But let's go into why other people who have more experience in this than I do say he's worth a pick and say why he should struggle in the NFL. This is from NFL analyst Lance Zierlein. Grier benefits from the West Virginia system, but the same system definitely benefits from his time there. He is a confident leader who would much rather press for the big throw than play it safe underneath. His lack of plus arm talent, release quickness, might not match his gunslinging mentality against the NFL secondary. Grier will have to win from the pocket, which means working the middle of the field with better anticipation, getting rid of the ball much sooner. His disappointing Senior Bowl and combine performance have likely hurt his stock. That's where I'm going to disagree with Lance. Teams don't put as much stock into the combine as a lot of analysts do. The Senior Bowl, that will hurt his stock, on the other hand. You're against seniors that are entering the NFL. You disappoint there. It's going to hurt you, which is why I think Daniel Jones jumped up a lot of people's minds in that game from with what I saw. But his strengths, highly organized and known as galvanizing locker room guy. He's a leader. He made plays close and late against Texas and Oklahoma. Now, if you watch those games, and I know a big argument of why he had so much statistical success at West Virginia is because he's in the Big 12. If you believe that, I don't want to hear you say a thing about Kyler Murray, because that's the exact same reason why Kyler Murray is hyped this much. We saw Kyler Murray in Texas A&M. We saw him in the SEC. I don't believe he's that big. Sorry to say it. I like Will Grier more than Kyler Murray. And again, where I'm disagreeing with Lance is average arm talent. I don't think it's his arm that's average. I think it's the fact he's not lined up. And as it says right here, velocity suffers from lack of lower body drive. He needs to learn how to line his hips up. If he lines his hips up properly, if he can learn to drive the ball, he'll become an NFL quarterback. Am I saying he'll be a Pro Bowler? I don't know. Am I saying he's an MVP? I don't know. Am I saying he's a Super Bowl champion? I don't know. There are so many different variables we can't count in. We don't know if he'll have injuries. We don't know all these things. But he's somebody I would like to see a team take a chance on. I think he's got a lot of ability. I think he's got a lot of high character that I'd be willing just to take a shot on it if I need that position. If you're, for example, the Dolphins, and he's on the board if you're in the second or third round, are you telling me you're not considering on taking him? If you're the Broncos and you have Joe Flacco, and it's the same exact situation, are you telling me you're not going to take him? I would have to. He's got too much talent to pass up, and you have the ability to work with him. You don't have to throw him out there. With the Dolphins, you have Ryan Fitzpatrick. With the Broncos, you have Joe Flacco. And if the Patriots take him, you got Tom Brady to teach him. You need to have a proper structure for him, which is why I prefer the Pats over any other team. Another team that could take a shot at him is the Redskins, but I currently have them looking at Daniel Jones. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I like diving down into prospects, and there's going to be more in the coming weeks leading up to the NFL Draft. Up next, I'm going to be talking a lot about my favorite draft prospect. He has blown me away. I'm talking about Quinnen Williams next. Stay tuned for that one.